have a look at the 3 wide for second. They're deep and they're going long. And this is the chaos that may pursue at the beginning of these races. Cold tyres, desperation down there. Paddy Archie off the right.
After it, sensational livery on Liam Talbot's car. It's one of the Bob Jane cars from Sonic Motor Racing, just running wide on the exit. It's a Racing Cup car since 2010, so he's got a lot of miles, a lot of experience. Talbot just bowls it wide up at turn 6. Driver error that opens the door for Stephen Grove.
Scrapping at the front of this field. Ange Missouri's slipping off the road at turns 1 and 2 in the background. Oh, and that was the Nick Percat jump that we saw in 2013.
But ultimately, they both came out the other side. Meanwhile, really busy behind Ange Masuris and Nick McBride. Race control looking into that. McBride spinning to the inside. Behind it, chaos. And all of the Morris Finance Pro-Am contenders from race 1 ended up with damage in race 2.
Missouri's getting together with Brian Sewell further back in the field. This was Tony Quinn and Scott Taylor tripping over at turn 12. That was pretty much how the race went. Everywhere you looked, there was something going on, like Tim Miles getting together there with Dean Cook, and that was enough to take Cook out of action.
Awkward little moment. This was on board the Zonzo Estate car. Another one, race control, we'll have to have a look at. Morris Finance Pro-Am was wild, and Cook just a few corners later with damage to...
But it was certainly the ability to lay the Michelin rubber down and then watch for the 777. Gee, Dylan O'Keefe's lucky that he didn't get tagged there.
So... yeah, he was, and I was wrong. There was no contact with Luke Yordan and Simon Fallon.
Honestly,
wide is where you start the next. It just snowballs as he looks down the inside of Oxford.
Armour's off.
Oh, that's big. Is he got a tyre down?
That left rear tyre didn't look overly happy then as it was pirouetting. And I wonder if he's going to be able to get this car moving. It was a very rare tyre failure.
Lots of debris on the circuit and the exit curbs here as well. And there it goes, bang. How was the noise when it exploded and the bag of the tyre flailing around on the inside of the guard? Background, that's Michael Armans. So he's looking down the inside of Brad Shields. Wasn't down alongside. Whoa. Enough. And smokes it.
He's having a bit of a gender reveal down there. Not sure.
Spoke to that team and they're basically said that Miles just took the rear tyres off that car off the road. So Belford was followed off by Stephen Grove. They're both off the road at turn 1 and a couple of free spots for Rodney Jane.
Oh, that's tight as well on the rejoin with Mark.
You can almost hear the thought process of no. So there's Grove. So Belford in a little bit too hot initially and Grove just followed him wide.
Slight nudge.
Close to nudge.
And Murph at Winton going through turn 5 when Cropper had that famous commentary moment where he was none too impressed with the penalties that were handed out. Was it the drivers in question? Very similar.
It was.
He's having his own moment before it got finished off. Turn 5 at Winton.
Yep. And this is what happened. He'll work his way past Scott Taylor. Oh, too hot.
Oh, that's close.
Well, they had an accident without actually having any massive damage there.
Wow. ID land entry after such heroics recently. Oh no, now second on the road in Morris Pro-Am.
Second in the championship coming into the race as well. Adrian Flack right in the mix, and lucky Sam Shahin wasn't a little bit further up the road. Single car incidents in this one, Chad. It's dead stick to me, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And this is what happened to Nick McBride. Oh, that's just a driver error all on his own. Unfortunately for Nick, he would have dropped out of the top 10 with that 5-second penalty, but not too far out.
Just racecraft supreme from Dale Wood and cold tyres, and here we go, drama, trouble, bang, and that beautiful Indigenous livery for Bailey Hall as he goes sliding off and through the fence at turn 5.
Hit concrete, then hit Armco. They've all been worried about the steering in these cars, and making that side-to-side contact has been breaking steering arms all season long. Bailey somehow is still rolling and might actually limp this thing back. He's just spun on the exit of 7. See if he can keep the fire alive and drive it back. Still busy behind.
Decipher what happened.
A little bit further back of the top 10. So there's a bit of wheel bashing going on. I think it was Yulden having a big slide. The TechWorks car and Bailey fed across into the fence. Hard to see how that all teed off. Someone was on the curb really hard on the inside there at what is turn 3, the little kink, a turn 4 correction, before they're braking, try and slow the car at 5. So it got concrete, and then it got Armco as well. Photographer down there hopefully got the shot because he was right in the firing line. And has he actually been able to leap that back, or has he stopped? No, this was the final spin.
Well, it's so wet off the racetrack today. Real humidity overnight.
Even more so now.
Yeah, just add some coolant to it as well. And unfortunately for the young Queenslander, out of action.
Around this part of the circuit, Matt Belford goes. He's having a shocking weekend.
That's his 3rd spin in 2 races. It's almost like it's a nice spot for a family holiday. There's more to the story here.
Ooh, that will not look favourably upon by race driver standards advisor. Ordinarily, Adrian would like that nickname. I don't think in this instance, though.
Yeah, that's a far be it for us to make these calls, Carlsy, but I'd say that's a pretty open and close case, that one.
There is a penalty coming the way of cars, Winton. Darwin needed to clear out in front.
Coming in hot.
So this is that incident with Liam Talbot. So McBride was already clear, and then running just a little bit wide there on the exit was Sheehan, with Liam taking that opportunity. Oh, it's definitely a whack though. That's probably the more telling replay of the two, showing the contact between them. Qualified quite well. That bright green and yellow car. Missouri's has got it all locked up and he's all off the road. Would have allowed Michael Armand to squeeze through. It has. So he went up the inside of Max Verdot, but this was all Ange, all on his own. He's got it locked up. It was wide at the apex point.
32 cars make it back around. Obviously, Tony Quinn is missing. And as the cars are making their way around, just to prove that it is a cold, cold day, it can happen to the best of them. And unfortunately, Paul getting himself pulled up and just getting that car back on track. Meanwhile, the fire crews are ready. You never know what's going to happen here.
So we've got through a lap just as they get down into the hairpin. Harry Jones, championship leader. He's got a couple of spots on the opening lap just inside the back of the top 10. And around goes Simon Fallon. He is having a rotten run of luck. Does this help explain it a little bit?
Very difficult to tell from that angle.
Impossible. Hate to be Carl Ryman.
Yeah, good luck with that, Carl.
Yep.
He had blurry red eyes this morning, the poor guy. And meanwhile,
Drew Hall, who we've already seen in the action, the wars this morning, was involved in that. I think Tim Miles just killed his mirror there as well, running over a mirror that was left on the racetrack. So that's...
At the exit, no, the objective Porsche argues back, defensive again. There's contact. He moved in the braking zone and puts Yulin in the fence and Hedge goes through.
Well, that will be looked at post-race.
But this will be the talking point absolutely afterwards. Tight down there. Gee, Luke Yulin did such a good job to get that car arrested despite the fact that he was up against the wall. Oh, man. It's Mad Max stuff down there from the in-car, or outside car, I should say, for Scott Taylor.
You can drive through it, Cole. I know it.
For the smoke. He was nearly inside someone else's car down there at turns 2 and 3.
That was great between those two young guys, and this is Bailey Hall. So it'd be interesting to see if there was contact there. I'd put money on the fact that race control asked for these replays to find out what happened, see if there could be any in-race penalties to apply. This is on board with Christian Pancioni. Thoughts and feelings?
Hectic. It's a great example of exactly how big swing in momentum. That's a brave spot to have a look, and he turns Yulden around. Is that a square up for the Grand Prix? Yulden sent love at round 1. Long memories race car drivers do have, and Yulden's facing the wrong way in Townsville. That was an iRacing moment there, just holding down the escape button for a moment.
Oh, and then that was the contact. Reasonably cut and dry, I would have thought there with Aaron Love into the back of Luke Yulden, who unwittingly is turned around. So a couple of fairly dramatic moments in Morris Pro-Am. That's Sam Sheehan into Tim Miles at 7. So big contact, lots of curb.
That's rallycross.
It's ridiculous. Lots of opposite lock from Sheehan, and Miles goes to the grass. So they both got away with that one. But Chad, that wasn't the end of the story.
No, there was a little postscript on this one. Next lap, about 2 Ks away from where the last contact happened. Just putting a full stop on that battle for now.
until the next round. Had a really good weekend. Oh, and Simon Fallon stopped on the road, third time in 3 races this weekend.
Has it been a fine weekend for Fallon as he gets half a race and try and get out of there? Meanwhile, that is what happened with Fallon.
Whoa, Pacioni.
Whoa, man, that was pretty wild stuff. So they all tried to miss the 777 car.
Okay, so he was going down the inside of Max Vidot and lots of curb on the inside.
At turn 1, watch for chaos down here with cold front Michelin tyres. But it's Aaron Love and contact with Vidal. And he's into one of the championship combatants. The first time we've seen him trickling down the pack.
Earl Bamber Motorsports going the long way around the outside. Oh. And a warning on the dashboard about the steering. That could be an issue with some damage caused there from that contact. And this again, just driving wide, but there was quite a big impact from Vidot's car. We don't have the full story of what unfolded there.
See if we can get to the bottom of it. Had the lock up. He's tried desperately hard to stay off Ryan Sewell's door, so that's commendable. That's sort of taking one for the team down there.
Yeah, I agree with you. He got it wrong, knew he got it wrong, was going to have an accident, so the thing bounced off the curb, had the spin, threw away the spots. And then this on the exit of turn 5, Nick McBride, who was just having a shocking season. It's a 200-kilometre-an-hour corner, and it's going to stop eventually.
Weirdly, that's not the furthest off track he's gone today. Riding on board with Jackson Walls. This is Brave through here. He lifts, gets out of it. And he's sideways, and he's around, and he's got company as well. Darwin's in there, flying off the back of the track, and 2 McElrea cars greet each other in the concrete.
He did the right thing. He lifted early, but contact from behind, and his teammate Bailey Hall, who celebrated his 19th birthday on Thursday, pointing the wrong way as well. And Belford and Emery. Belford with a lot of damage to the front of his Porsche Centre Melbourne car.
We have a furrowed brow right now looking at that.
It was Ryan Sewell up the inside.
It was actually 3 separate incidents that happened all at once.
It was like a chain reaction. Just a chain reaction that all happened at the same time. But yeah, so Walls was on the outside and lifted. This is Vidot. So Max got into the back of
Bailey Hall.
Hall.
Look at this at turn 6, and there's more here. Yulden went around and nearly got picked up by his teammate.
This is Dale Wood. So he's got Brad Shields on his right. So there's the contact in front. And it was Shields on the outside, contact with car 100.
How did Brad Shields get away with that? He's still 7th.
Yeah.
He got clobbered.
Yep, how?
Yeah.
Good question.
This is the exit of turn 6 with Yulden going around. That looks sort of cold tyre-esque. I'm not sure if there was any contact. Oh, and more, that's how Emery Miles got together.
Tim Miles and Belford just caught up in that and collected them as he was coming through in the ID Land car.
I count 6 different incidents on the opening lap then, all happening around each other.
Here's what happened. Back of shot with Ryan Sewell in the SP Tools car for Earl Bamber Motorsport, already involved in that incident on the open. Told me before this race, if we could qualify well, they wouldn't see which way we went. They've got great race pace, but track position has cost them.
Indra and Pateachi skating off at turns 10, 11, and finishing at turn 12. Bump drafting, the slingshot engaged down the front straight. Shields, Jones, still side by side. There goes the championship leader. Jumps on the brake so he doesn't roll it back into the pack. Can he get this thing moving? It's stalled. He's dropping down the timing sheet to the back of the field. Championship blown wide open on both ends of the scale because Talbot's off.
And he's got big dramas in the Wall Racing car. Wash it livery right at the very front of the field in Morris Pro-Am, out of the race.
We're hearing that this car was very close to going upside down. So the good news is Liam's okay. He's going to jump straight out of it. He'll be a frustrated driver. Very frustrated driver.
Now watch Harry Jones, silver, black and yellow car. I'm not sure if there was any contact there. He was just on the inside of that run there with Ange Mazouris. It did go over.
Wow. That's remarkable.
This on board with Shahin.
Now that...
I think Sam got the curb on the inside at turn 3.
There may also have been yellow flags down there as well. That door is definitely shut.
Basically being battle-hardened. We've talked about the fact already this weekend that he's been in a racing car 4 out of the last 5 weeks.
Slack around.
Oh, another Pro-Am contender.
He started the restart at the front of the field now.
And being offline has opened the door for Pancioni to get through. So Wall needs to be careful here. Oh, and all on his own. Don't get stuck in the gravel trap.
Yeah, it's been a tough year for Ange Missouri's.
He's not driving out of that, Chad. Not going anywhere.
Oh, he's got company. Oh, the only driver in Pro-Am to have finished every race this year is stuck with him.
So there was some passing going on. Sewell and Hedge, 2 EBM cars, and that was Adrian Flatt spinning around. That was the first little moment in that sequence.
Wow, Hedge and Sewell were at it too. The two
Emery
teammates, there was more in that.
Yep, definitely. Front to rear contact.
It's got to be rain, surely.
Yeah. Oh.
Man, that's the second time this weekend he's had to avoid another car down there and take the pain himself as a result.
I think just outbraked himself. We had Michael Armand in front. Michael's done a really good job to get up to 10th. Started from the back of the pros.
That was a strange one. Rodney Jane had sort of survived the spin and then ended up sort of slowly driving into the gravel. Oh, a few cars going off. Armand, Wood, Missouri's, Jane, McBride, all off at turn 1.
And here's a look from the outside. We were riding on board with the Hyundai Forklifts Australia, all on his own.
He double hopped himself off the turn 2 curb.
Well, you touched on it earlier, and this from on board. Just have a listen. We touched on it earlier, how these cars don't have that ride control that the supercars do over the high curbs. They're more stiffly sprung than a supercar, and they react pretty the season he needs, although 14 hours on the plane with a 6-month-old. I'm not sure how that's going to go, but so right front again down there over the bumps at turn 1 and bolt it wide. But I think maybe a holiday might be what Nick needs from this season. It's been a really challenging...
Here we go. Just as we cut away to the replay, I saw the back end of this car wag out. And that'll be wide. Oh, it's in the wall as well. Fighting to hold onto that spot. Oh, trouble in the background. That's Pagliacci facing the wrong way and he's collected by Rodney Jane. That was a fairly decent hit. This is going to take a couple of cars out further down in the pack. For Dylan O'Keefe, championship-wise, won't be too worried about looking at the back of the 999, knowing that he's not in this championship fight. Hey, how about this? Pancioni off and into the mud. This is going to be a tough rejoin. Going to be very slippery. Does a good job keeping it out of the pack. Wood goes with him. Oh, Godot off the road.
And he is going nowhere.
I think that's been in the fence as well.
Yeah, third yesterday.
Oh, O'Keefe was out wide. There was a touch. Godot did find the fence. That was hefty contact.
So it wasn't just a fight for second. That was a fight for the race lead.
And what happened for Aaron Love to even lose the lead at that point?
So they were 3 wide. So Love was third. So Love repassed for the lead. That was an incredible bit of racing. O'Keefe was on the outside of the road. So Bernard was leading the race for a moment there.
And you saw Max take a long time to get out of that car, and I'm not sure it's because he'd be shaken up or anything. I reckon he was thinking, could I get back in the race?
Yes.
Which is interesting given how big a shunt it was, but still, the desperation to go, get me back out there.
Yeah, I think he was hoping they could pull him out. So this then O'Keefe, after the incident...
I wonder if he had a left front going down.
Yeah, before we've gone safety car, he's fired the thing across the road.
What happened down here? Emery and Grove after the restart. Oh, some chatter about that one as well. Yeah, Stephen Grove on a hat-trick here, and that's actually promoted Matt Bell.
Yeah, nice.
Good Sandown racing. And there is the milestone man, Mr. 100. Car's going to need a chamois when he gets back onto the track.
Driver cleans his own car, and plenty of that this weekend.
What a time to nail your perfect start. First front row start. Oh, that's what happened in the background. Wow. Lucky that wasn't any worse than what it was with Scott Taylor.
What happened a little bit further back, I think, with Sam Sheehan, who had the trip through the grass and the dirt and the beach down there at the final corner. The Objective Racing car. He had a shocker yesterday, and now he's looking down the inside of his teammate.
Wow.
Oh, Harry squeezed off the road on the exit. This is the championship leader.
Oh, it's taking an eternity to get it back to the black stuff. Has this got steering damage on the right? It has too.
Oh, man. Yep.
Again, another huge swing in momentum in this championship. It's come from absolutely nowhere. It was all steady as she goes. And all of a sudden, the championship leader limping.
Drove off the road, broken the steering. Here it is from the inside. This will show it. Oh, just the lightest of blow. Yeah, lightest of contact. And it's...
This is the reason why we've gone to safety car conditions.
So watch a little bit further back. Firstly, Scott Taylor has a big lose in the STM car. Queenslander had it all locked up, but through divine intervention or some other form, the car was straightened up and it didn't get in the mud and he was able to carry on. And then further back, Mark Sini in the Hallmark Property Group car did the same thing. Caught out by that river running across the entry to the chase.
Have a listen to this.
He did absolutely nothing different there. Maybe half a tyre width wider than he was the lap before, or out of the grooves that have been made.
I reckon he might need a Ned whiskey after that.
I think so.
After just seeing constant Ned signs flashing through the windscreen.
So the car was killed. It turned itself off when the rears were locked. So it stalled, and then he had to get that car refired. And surely it's Murphy's Law. The moment they call the safety car for something like that, the car will refire, it'll catch, and he was able to drive it out, and here he goes. Four-wheel drive needs a KN rather than a 911 through there. And is this about to become an X-splitter?
Yep. Why did the splitter cross the road?
Oh.
Oof.
Oh. Just to finish the job, the last one. Wow.
I would sit there.
Now that's just before the entry to the beach chicane, so that's another one gone. It's the pedestrian bridge just before, and there's another one.
Another one.
That's another X-splitter.
Yep.
And this is just another look at this. So watch Adrian Flack into shot now. Very wide, just swipes the tyres.
And watch Matty Belford, orange and black car, 5th in the queue here. Watch how close this gets. Oh.
Oh. Could be more rear wing to rear wing contact. We've already seen that once this weekend.
Yeah, you're right. Wow, that was... Oh, he properly bounced it off the tyres. You're not wrong.
There'll be some...
How close do you reckon this gets, Rich?
Oh,
millimeters in it? Millimeters, you reckon?
I'm going millimeters. Oh, yep. I'm calling millimeters.
I'll pay.
Let's check this out. Look a little bit further back. The green nose of Adrian Flack is the Pro-Am leader. Bright car of Liam Talbot. So it's Rodney Jane on Jeff Emery, and they make contact as they get to the braking zone at turn 1. And that's what's torn the tyre off the rear corner of Jeff Emery's car.
So it's just an awkward one at a really early part of the racetrack.
And it's broken the steering on the 77 Bob Jane car of Rodney Jane as well. That was awkward.
He might just keep the lead lap here and get a new tyre on that thing. He's lucky that Rodney's car couldn't make it home.
How is the tank slapper that Jeff was having? Oh. That Michelin was off the rim, and literally off the rim.
Check this out. The 74.
Oh,
Wham.
Did hit it quite hard. Harry Jones had quite light contact yesterday. Oh, with a tyre bundle, and it gave him quite a lot of toe out. Jones back to 6. Oh, massive dramas. Both the championship contenders in Pro-Am, and Emery's in front.
How has that happened? All of a sudden, Jeff Emery's just popped out ahead of Liam Talbot, and that is for the lead in that championship. You could see the desperation for Talbot to get through there, but he was blocked up. Well, that is exactly what Harry Jones was hoping to avoid, and he has.
So watch back of shot. Liam Talbot right in the middle of frame, coming down. Everyone's locking up. And then he turns in. Oh, there's a big concertina. So it was Pancione turned around, Wood there, and then everyone concertinaed up behind it. And there was a Gold Coast traffic jam. Sini parked against the wall. This is Talbot. Crunch, nowhere to go. And he watches as his closest championship rival drives, squeezes through on the outside.
Oh, that must have been a horrible wait. He knew he had to go eventually. From Ryan Sewell's point of view, in the SP Tools Alabama car, a few spots back.
That was feisty, wasn't it? Trading paint all the way from turn 4 to turn 6. Oh, McBride gets into the back, then he gets into the back of Mazuris in front.
Vidot got in the back of him.
Yeah, why not? Darwood. He's got no luck. And the local constabulary just joining the party here.
That's the slowest police chase I've ever seen.
Go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Oh, that's outstanding.